ये रखना acting quite a character.
Jokes. Good to be back home.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back here. Welcome back.
You are still there and here.
This is where I belong.
Great.
Honorable Justice Nariman, President Sir, respected seniors, dear colleagues, the House is full, as is obvious, and it shows the exuberance and the excitement that the bar has to hear the lecture. And Justice Nariman did say that he had a very exhausting day in the court, and till he gets his coffee, I'll request President Sir to please welcome Honorable Justice Nariman and say a few things.
May I request Aishwarya ji to welcome Justice Nariman with a bouquet of flowers, please. And I want a ovation for Justice Nariman. Justice Nariman, good evening. I don't think these people who have come have bargained for that, so I won't take the risk. Good evening, Justice Nariman. Welcome. Good evening, everybody. It's really a great moment for us to have with us Justice Nariman today, who till the other day belonged to us. And I have no doubt in his heart he still lives here in this library, in these corridors, and on this side of the bar. It's very interesting how this lecture came about. And I must reveal a little secret with all of you friends. If you want any relief from Justice Nariman, which he can never deny, you should find him when he is walking outside the court. He was walking in the Lodi garden and I accosted him. I told him that we have been wanting to invite him for a lecture series, and he readily agreed. We discussed few of the subjects and he suggested a subject which is truly outstanding and extremely. The subject itself is path-breaking. Now in Justice Nariman, we have somebody who really can wear too many hats. He not only was an outstanding lawyer, and I have no doubt that in this short span, he has convinced all of us that he is going to be one of the most outstanding judges on our bench. But there are many other qualities that he has, and many of you may be aware about them. If he was not such a great lawyer, a great judge, he would have been perhaps a great musician. He would have been perhaps a equally great religious leader and a preacher. He would have perhaps been a great historian. All these things Justice Nariman combines in himself, and that's something which really makes him a very special judge. On legal history, I can definitely vouch, having shared, I think, thousands of coffee cups over our canteen tables, that the legal history that he knows about, not only for India, but in the United States as well as United Kingdom, is absolutely unbelievable. And with his elephantine memory, he just doesn't miss anything, including which judge had what kind of a character, what kind of a life, perhaps what drink he had and what girlfriend he had. So, so Justice Nariman truly is a legal historian in that sense. Today's subjects, friends, is one of those subjects which he can only, and he perhaps is the only authority who can enlighten us on this extremely interesting subject. We all, deal with laws all the time. We all deal with judgments and journals and all that. But we really don't know what goes behind this, in the corridors of the judges' chambers. And this is very important, how law is molded, how over centuries or last at least 200 years, how judicial system has functioned in countries like England and United States as also in India. And that's something which we really all must know. I mean, young and old, all of us must really be aware about that. So today's evening promises to be a very, I would say, very enlightened evening. And I'm sure each one of you are looking forward to hearing Justice Nariman on this very beautiful subject. I thank him from the bottom of my heart on behalf of all my colleagues here in the bar and myself that you have agreed to be here and talk to us. But I can only promise you one thing, Justice Nariman, that this is not the first and the last time that you will be invited here. We are going to bank on you, unless you stop walking in the Lodi garden, of course. We are going to be banking on you to come and talk to us from time to time. And as I have said on more than one occasion in last few months, that this kind of a camaraderie between the bar and the bench is absolutely necessary. Unless bar and bench have a very personalized relationship outside the court, outside the justice delivery system, outside decision-making process, the institution can never grow. And I think for institutions to grow, it is very important that we have a better relationship between us. So having said that, I welcome you and I request you to address us this evening. Thank you very much. Come.
Mr. Dave, my beloved father, and all of you, my beloved friends. This year happens to be the 800th centennial year of Magna Carta. Now, all of you have heard of Magna Carta. There are one or two little known facts about Magna Carta which I'll put before you. One is that the document is in Latin. What was the spoken language of the day in King John's time in 1215 AD was French. So it was not really something which was supposed to be understood and which was supposed to percolate downwards. First. Second, Magna Carta was annulled by Pope Innocent III almost immediately. 15 June 1215 was when King John was forced to sign it by the barons. And by August of the same year, Pope Innocent III, who was a very strong and great pope, actually annulled the document. So what Magna Carta really is known for is more the things done in its name than what was actually done under it. Very little was actually done under it. What is oft quoted is the 39th and the 40th articles of Magna Carta. The 39th article is something like our Article 21. It doesn't speak of life, but it certainly speaks of liberty first. And it also speaks of property, possessions. So for the first time it was laid down that the king, in whom the fount of all authority, including law, lay, had to respect both liberty and property of every citizen in the realm. This again was important. It went right down. And he was to do this by the law and by the judgment of the various peers. At that point of time, it was considered correct only if you are judged by your equals. So somebody should not be below or above you. This was the 39th article. The 40th article makes even more interesting reading, because it says that we will not sell justice. Interesting at that point of time. Neither will we delay or deny justice. Now with this background, the three names I have chosen, fortunately Dushyant gave me the opportunity of choosing a topic of my choice, have to do with Magna Carta in the sense that each one of these three great Chief Justices, Lord Mansfield, and each of them, mind you, belonged to a separate century. Each was a colossus which bestrode a particular century. Lord Mansfield bestrode the 18th, Chief Justice Marshall of the United States Supreme Court, the 19th, and our great Chief Justice B.K. Mukherjee, the 20th. Each of them had liberty at his heart. And each of them were great exponents of the law as they saw it. Lord Mansfield of the law merchant, because at that point of time it was commerce which was predominant. Chief Justice Marshall of the Constitution, of the then new Constitution,